from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. I spent 72 hours debugging. Let's get into it.
Hey guys! So last time we talked, I think we left off with implementing the left arm and the right arm. But really when I say implementing the left arm and the right arm, we worked on just getting this left arm to show, and I think that might have been it. I don't think we worked on doing the grabs or anything like that. So the main difference between last time and this time is after we put in the left arm and displaying it, I did some changes so that I made it so that like you can see from the camera I'm sticking my left arm right now. And you can tell when I'm moving both arms, when I'm just moving the one arm. So I made it so that the client could also see the other player's movements with the left arms, but then I also changed it so that the left arms would be able to bump into things, as in I gave them physical bodies with the physics engine. And then after I did that, I worked on making the grill have physics collisions. So as you can see, we're in the kitchen right now, and the main thing that you need to know is right below me is a bun, and I'm just gonna bump into it and pick it up like this and show it to you. And the main issue that I was having with the grill while I was programming is that I noticed, first of all, sometimes when I dropped the buns on top of the grill, it wouldn't even start to sizzle. So if we do this, now the sizzle noise is playing. But before I had it where sometimes I would drop it, and even though it was very clearly the objects were on the grill, no sound would come. And then another thing I noticed was that I would pick up these bun items, and then the sizzle noise wouldn't stop. And then that wasn't all. I also noticed that if I press if I had two items at once, and by press I mean if I grab two things at once. So if I go over here, and if I just spawn some tomatoes, we'll go check out and see what happens. So if I take these two tomatoes and I put them on the grill, what you're going to see is only one tomato will cook. So you see that? Right now, only the left tomato is grilling. And when I first saw this, I was thinking, what the heck? Clearly you can see from me looking at the grill right now that the left one is cooking and the right one isn't. And so the reason why this was so annoying to me to have to see and then to have to figure out is because I genuinely, literally had no idea what the cause of this was. I didn't know if it was something about my physics systems, like was the collision off? Was the positioning of the blender file off? Was it my arms? And honestly, my first thought was that it had to be the grill. It had to be something about the grill and the positioning of it that wasn't working right. And so that's what I thought it was, and that's what led me to go onto this debugging spree for 72 hours. Because guess what, guys? It was never the grill at all. Instead, this all came down to literally changing one value on the server side from a stagnant default true to the actual variable value that it had to be originally. Literally all those 72 hours were fixed in like 2 lines, not even.
But the crazy thing is that in order for me to go digging to find these literal single lines that I had to change, I ended up fixing so many other little bugs that I didn't even know existed. It turned out that my camera was too zoomed in, as in it had, when you have the cameras like in any 3D modeling service, they have a near plane and a far plane, and that kind of determines the rendering distance where the camera will start clipping items and then hiding them. So it turned out that my clipping distance was way too high, so I had to turn that to 0 so that I could see the arms. And then it turned out that between the server and the client side, the positioning of the arms and where they were dropping items from weren't synced at all. And then furthermore, it wasn't even synced between members on the client side and the actual player. So that means that when two players were playing the same game, someone would drop something, and then on the other player's screen, it would be like 2 feet closer to that person than the actual person who was holding it originally. And then besides that, it turned out that there was like a simpler way for me to do collisions with the grill I found. I ended up doing some really weird, crazy things on the physics system because I thought that there were issues with the arms. And then I even messed around between doing physical body collisions and ray tracing, and I ended up just sticking with ray tracing. But literally this single bug probably had me fix like 8 issues that I would have had to fix in the future anyway, but I just fixed them now because I happened to find them all. And I definitely didn't find like all the bugs that my game currently has and will ever have, but it's just really incredible to think that in these 72 hours and when I say 72 hours, I really do think I was working on it, because I was working on these bugs probably for almost a week straight from when I would wake up and then go to bed. So that's a good likely 12, it could be even like 14 hours in between that I was literally just working on this day and night nonstop. So I'm really thankful and glad that I ended up fixing all those bugs that I found, but at the same time, it's just so crazy to think that all those bugs came because those 2 lines that you saw me fix, I actually had programmed them in and already had them set up like, I don't even know, a week and a half ago, but my house had a power outage, and what I thought was saved from during the power outage actually ended up not being saved. So the whole reason why those 2 values weren't swapped was just because it during the power outage they never got saved. Had the power outage happened, I wouldn't have found all the I wouldn't have had this problem, but I also wouldn't have fixed all those other issues I found. And with that, I'm gonna head out. Thank you for watching, guys. If you like what you saw, feel free to leave me a comment, subscribe, like, do whatever you want, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!